Service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. Ep Foundation Repair. We Fix Basements.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Sea-Doo dealership. Score up to $300 off or a free 2-year warranty on 2024 Sea-Doo Sparks and $500 off or a free 2-year warranty on all other brand new 2024 Sea-Doos. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of September. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with a large selection of motorcycles and watercraft in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Hurry in, the clock is running down.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. It's Terrific Tuesday. That's what we're going to name it. Terrific Tuesday from here on out. Because we got Thirsty Thursday. Wednesday's hump day. But Terrific Tuesday. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. We are the Old School crew. We're coming at you live from 1040 O Street, the mecca of sports radio in the great state of Nebraska and the capital city of Lincoln. But we are dominating east, west, north, and south of the whole state of Nebraska. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients of Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 84th and Old Cheney, technically 85th and Aldermat. Was it in Austin? Andermatt. I'll get that one. 168th and Maple if you're up there in the O, a.k.a. the Metro. A lot going on. Coordinators, I think, talked today, right? We had some audio. I think both coaches spoke yesterday. and understand. I think they held serve on who they are. Really some interesting quotes. We'll talk a little bit about the Florida State fiasco and where Mike Norvell is and where he could be headed in whether it's Tallahassee or Gainesville. There's some conversations, when coaches are going home or via the cell phone that's distinctly different than they were a couple weeks ago. We'll talk a little bit more about Clemson. I think that's good to dive in there and to see how you're at a storied program like Clemson. I wouldn't say Clemson's a storied program, but there's definitely a reputable program. Not a blue blood, but you're tier 2 or 3. Definitely has a history of football, especially recently, 2 national championships, and how quickly things can deteriorate. And everybody is great to look at the Dabo going against the portal, so forth and so on. I have some thoughts on it, and it very easily comes to not his leadership, but the leadership that is left, which it will destroy a program if you're not able to consistently nurture, right? Teach, mold young assistants when you start to have, I call it, superior success. In this day and age of college football, as much as people talk about developing athletes, you have to develop coaching and coaches and coaching, or both, teaching them how to coach, but then the coaches as much, and sometimes even more, in some cases, depending on where your program is at, as players. We'll talk about the news that Scott Frost is back in with the Rams or in the NFL. I don't think he's ever coached in the NFL, but he's got a tremendous opportunity to get back in the industry, per se, in the good old boys club or whatever you want to call it. And then we'll talk about the best left tackle probably in the last, since he's been in the league, but maybe this last 10 years. Definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Trent Williams is going to be available. So that means Hassan Reddick is the only player that is not in the building. Jamar Chase is in the building. He's doing everything besides practicing. So that gives you a little bit more confidence. I don't believe it, but a lot to cover in sports. Along with, obviously, you got Colorado week. But first and foremost, we got a couple quick minutes. Thoughts about FSU last night and DJ Ugalele, and he was
ukulele.
But he was
DJ Ugly.
He was DJ Ugly in the way that he played quarterback last night. And he's going to take a lot of the blame. Well, I wanted you guys. I'm just going to just jump in. I want to ask you guys this, and this is where we can get into the transfer portal and how you can actually do too good of a job in the portal. They mentioned it last night, and it was an interesting take because Louis Riddick, who I have a ton of respect for, and he knows his stuff, whether it's college or pros. His co-partner or his partner asked him, sometimes can you have too many weapons and you start to call plays for all of them versus focusing on your 2 bell cows or your guys that, your 2 best guys, where you're trying to make 8 guys on offense happy versus focusing on the guys that you need to really, lean on to make plays?
Well, just, you don't have an identity. You don't have a thing. You don't have a tendency.
Right.
And the tendency means there are things that you rep at higher volume, higher efficiency than anything else. That's your culture. That's your personality.
Yeah, that should be what should be.
So when you're asking him to make throws to different spots on the field where it's obvious that he's uncomfortable doing it, right? Trying to match situation, circumstance, down and distance. No, man, if you can't throw the out route, it's a problem.
Right.
If you can't throw the flare, it's a problem. Those are throws that you make in such high volume.
Right.
During off season, in season.
It really is a high school route.
Right. Like, it's a thing that you've taken the lead weapon out of the tool belt.
Yeah.
And then you try to figure out, well, wait a minute, why is Boston College giving us the work? Because Boston College does what they do really well often.
Yeah, well, and we'll get into a little bit of that, after we dive into Florida State. I think the biggest thing is when you watch DJ throw the ball, it was when he was trying to throw it to the tight end. His feet, I mean, for being 6'4", 6'5", 250. I mean, he's the prototypical big, strong quarterback, can run good enough. Feet are so close together. And then he almost looks like he's trying to guide it, is not even confident in when he's throwing it. And that's how the ball sails, or the direction or the accuracy is completely off.
And they're not doing anything downfield.
Right.
There's nothing deep for him to use that big arm. He's not confident enough on the quick hitters, and there's no touch in the intermediate game.
Well, it seemed like the yips were real. Right. Yeah. I think he could throw the big ball. I think he could.
Yeah, he's not playing those. I mean,
there's no natural throwing motion. Everything is contrived. Everything is forced.
It looks bad, and it's a good look into. We'll go over all the bounce a little bit. So he's a big name, and I sent these guys to Texas. He's the biggest bust in this recent 5-star bottom out. Number one, your quarterback. So that puts you in a different grading scale, because you are the quarterback.
Yeah.
You got to think. Bryce Young was number 1, 5-star. There's only 2 5-stars. Bryce Young and DJ. You know who else was third? You know who's third?
Sleepless Slayer.
Yeah, CJ. So you got the number 1 and number 2 guys in the draft, and you can't even punch your way out of a wet paper bag. This is a good example of if there's ever any college kids out there listening online, which they should, you're getting free advice here. Normally I would charge you, but free advice. And I'll give you another example. Kermani McLean is the same. But DJ's a little bit different. He had really good success at Oregon State. Felt like he was comfortable off the map. Just fit in well there, right? Now, obviously, Coach Smith was a really good coach. He was able to go to Michigan State. But Trent Bray's there. He's a holdover. He knows the Oregon State kind of culture. They have offensive assistants that stayed there. You chose to go in the portal. It was telling to me that Coach Smith didn't bring him to Michigan State. It was telling to me. The dude won 9 games for you. So it was a hard 9 games, right? It was a hard 9 games for them to get those 9. Now, you had Martinez, the running back, he's down at the U, but still, you know that's the first thing a coach would generally like to go with him is their quarterback. Lincoln Riley, who did he bring? Williams. And so that was the number 1 telling sign. It's interesting to me, and we talk about this all the time in the transfer portal. It's great to have a tangible evaluation or asset that I can get on YouTube and see, and DP can get on YouTube and see.
Yeah.
But that's just a starting point, because it's not guaranteed when you come to Lancaster County or Lincoln, Nebraska, that's going to be the same. That's not what's at Florida State than what they got. Now they have buyer's remorse, right? Then you got to think of Kermani McLean. And this is where you get into these advisors and people that are making decisions for you for selfish reasons, meaning they're getting envelopes themselves based on your career. You're the number 1 cornerback in the nation. The best cornerback of all time has chosen to take you as his recruit. Somehow, some way, you can't get on the field at Colorado. Fair enough. You don't go to meetings. You don't watch tape. You don't prepare. But then it's his fault. You say you don't want clicks, right? But then you got on the internet and did it. So then you're on the Twitter and everything because you're warming up for this game, right, against Miami. Number 1, you ain't got the right number on, because he actually he was number 23 and they had him wear 25. You got played by Florida. This is the problem with the portal. For these guys that out there, this is where you got to give Nebraska and them credit. They've been doing something to retain them, because you can go in the portal. It sounds sweet. It does sound sweet. But when you get there, it's sour, because McLean couldn't play at Colorado. Now you're at Florida, and you're at best number 4, number 5 on the depth chart. Now his career is over, unless he's willing to go down somewhere and get coached and get better in 18 months. It's been 18 months. You went from the number 1 recruit at your position. So that means you're probably top 25?
Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
Easily, typically, yeah.
Corner might even be higher.
Mm-hmm.
To a laughing stock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was having this conversation with some folks in Atlanta. yesterday. And the same thing was brought up. They brought Rashada, the quarterback for Florida, who went through the whole NIL nonsense chaos.
Yeah.
But then they flipped it and said, okay, so if we think about it fairly in a matter of months, anything less than 2 years, you kind of have to waive, because Joe Burrow, there's a whole list of quarterbacks who were 4 and 5 star guys, or at least guys with a resume, who were recruited by the top programs in the country, got to that program and went, nope, this ain't it. I'm not beating out 1, 2, maybe 3. I'll have to go. I mean, if you're Burrow and you're following that chain of Ohio State quarterbacks who were all NFL quarterbacks, even if they weren't good ones, he couldn't beat them out. So what does he do?
He went to portal. His situation was a little different.
Well, but this is
it's generally
thing,
like
right? Like it. You can
Justin Fields same way,
right? Like you can spin it. My thing is, for DJ, the issue seems to be a real disconnect between what his skill set is
and what they're
asking him to do.
Right.
And you get desperation. It's desperate dating. Don't date when you're desperate. Don't do it, because you accept things that aren't good for you. And DJ wanted to be in a better program. He went to Oregon State. That was not it. So
and
what did he
but see, it kind of was it for him. He had a good year at Clemson filling in for Trevor.
It should have been good for him.
It should have been it.
Right.
He decides to take the bigger leap. And this is where I don't think it's completely fair to call DJ a bust. I think the way he's being used is questionable at best, but also we know his name. He has had 2 productive college seasons.
Right. He's done some work.
He's done better than Cade Klubnik. Guy who came after him. He's done better than Sam Heward. I would argue he's been as good as Spencer Rattler.
Do you think that some of this is going to land firmly on Norvell?
It should
1,000%.
And also this is where, if I was advising DJ they wanted Cam Ward like no tomorrow. So if you look at it, it's when you're caught up in the vacuum, like DP says, you want to go to a bigger, more higher profile program, because you're told, or it's assumed, by going to a bigger program and having the same year that you had at Oregon State, you probably would increase your draft stock, right? And ultimately, I'm sure that's what was a decided. NIL and all that stuff, obviously, I'm sure he had more options. I mean, I'm sure he could have went to Kentucky, right? I'm sure he could have went to other schools. I'm sure he could have.
Kentucky got one of those guys too, high 4-star Brock Vandegrift, who couldn't get off the bench for Georgia.
But I'm saying he could have went to another school.
Like Vanderbilt's got a couple right? So
he had options.
Virginia has some folks who moved around.
Yeah,
Same for Tech.
He had options besides Florida State. But Florida State was coming off of a magical year. All they needed is they felt like it replaced the quarterback. They had a really good under the radar transfer portal season, but you didn't evaluate who they really wanted. The way Cam Ward plays football is closer to Travis, who they had last year. It is. You're mobile. You could throw on the run, extreme, elusive in the pocket, can extend plays. And then obviously when you have 2 alpha dogs out there with Keon Coleman and so forth and so on, you become a pretty explosive offense. But that's not DJ's game. DJ's game is more of a big pocket quarterback set up off of play action, but led by a big physical run game. When you think of that game last night, Boston College's quarterback should have been at Florida State, and I would argue with you that DJ would have been better at Boston College. It's straight up.
Oh, I could see DJ playing for O'Brien.
Well, that's Bill O'Brien's quarterback.
Right. That's literally who it is. One big arm. Here's the part that scares me, though, because Bill O'Brien loves that out route. He loves that out route. And DJ's just not throwing it well.
But Bill O'Brien has coached quarterbacks, and he's done well with big, physical, strong quarterback. You got to look at it. He had Hackenberg at Penn State. That's exactly him.
Yeah.
So that's
kind of busty right there.
Yes, but I understand this is not a shot at DJ.
Yeah.
And really, DJ has been thrown to the wolves because the pressure that you are to perform, being the number 2, only 5-star, and the other 2 are at the apex. And you got to think the guy that was ranked below you is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. And Bryce is on his way up, right? And a great leader, national champion, and all that stuff. So there is the pressure on. So that's where you can get the bust label, and he's been better than a bust. The problem is when you move like that, and then also the team's not playing well, they'll look at the quarterback, but also the coach.
Well, he's the reason that Florida State went from being a top 30 team
to
this
10.
season
Preseason,
right?
Yeah.
That was literally he and Norvell were the move.
Yeah.
Like that was the move. And you could say, hey, you moved 10 spots up because of DJ, you moved another 10 spots because of Norvell.
Supposedly.
Right. And neither one of them showed.
Yeah.
Neither one posted.
Have showed.
But I also think this. As much as we can talk about DJ, Florida State's got a whole bunch of other issues.
Oh, that we can get it. Yeah,
boy.
Patrick Payton was no show.
Oh my goodness.
The defense was supposed to have 4 defensive linemen that have NFL potential. They haven't been worth a plum nickel. The play of the coordinators haven't been up to snuff. But I also think they haven't gelled. So whatever you did in the offseason, didn't work or hasn't worked.
Well, that's new. The new messaging. Sometimes you put a coach into a program, while it seems like a good idea in leadership, it's not the right kind of leadership. For Tallahassee, Florida, I'm not sure Norvell was the guy.
Oh, yeah, and if you talk, I've played with a few of the Florida State alum, and they would tell you that as well. Now, I think that gets smokescreen a little bit. I always say, listen, you take the Mike Norvell from the year before, last year, and last year's record, add them together, and that's probably where you're at. Now, that doesn't mean you can't improve on that, but I think sometimes when you have instant success like that, you can relax and think like, okay, well, we'll just plug and play guys into these positions that actually Keon Coleman have been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Travis has been there for a while. You know, these guys just didn't come, it takes a little while to get them going. So, but I just Florida State just did not look like they should.
Well, they looked like Norvell teams from the previous 3 years.
Yeah.
Or the previous 2 years. Not last year.
You know who they look like? They look like an old UCF or South Florida team. That's how it was weird to me to watch them get manhandled in the run game. And let me tell you, Boston College and them long athletic dudes they had all power forwards up there on the front. They listen, them cats, Jay, they was throwing Seminoles out the club like it was Saturday night in Tallahassee and the kegs were open.
But the thing about it is, and we'll say this before we go to break, I think the part of the reason why Bill O'Brien jumped at that job, because Boston College is not an easy job. No. It's not. No. One of my good friends, Daryl Porter, and give a shout out to Daryl Porter Jr. He's the starting quarterback for the Canes. He went to Boston College. It's not an easy job. Academics and just Boston in general, especially with some of the guys that you need to recruit. Boston has a long history of not being so welcoming. The reason why he took that job, Boston College last year was one of the better running teams in the nation. So right then and there, he knows he's got something he can start with.
It's his style. So, he's got Arian Foster type running game. He's got balance. And then he went on. There's a coaching clinic that he did that Barry was at, and Barry was telling the story that he decided Boston College because he saw the offensive and defensive line.
Well, yeah, you got a good offensive line. You know, you got a good defensive line. Yeah.
He was like, I don't, them other people, I can work with.
Yeah.
But when I saw the big longs up there and they were throwing dudes out the club, like they were throwing iron all summer, he was like, yep, I can go with it.
Yeah. So it's a very good look into decisions that can be made in the spur of the moment. And sometimes staying pat or maybe being at that level will be, isn't a bad thing. So unfortunately for Florida State, they're outside of the top 25. And fortunately for Boston College, from Bill O'Brien, they're 1-0 in a game that they weren't favored to win or thought of to even have a chance to win, especially with Florida State with their backs against the wall. But our back is against the wall. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk a little Scott Frost action, what it really means, because it's a short segment. We won't, dive into him too much. But Jay Foreman, DP Austin, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
College football is back for another week on 93.7 The Ticket. This week we have a top 10 matchup in store as the number 3 Texas Longhorns travel to the Big House to try to dethrone the defending champion number 10 Michigan Wolverines. Both teams enter the matchup unblemished as Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns opened up the season with a 52-0 pummeling of Colorado State, while Will Johnson and Michigan's defense led them to a season-opening 30-10 win over Fresno State. It's number 10 Michigan hosting number 3 Texas right here on 93.7 The Ticket. The broadcast starts at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday with kickoff set for 11 o'clock. Catch the action on the gridiron all season long on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event. Lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $399 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1003769, $399 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $56.50 to assign, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 9/3/24. See dealer for details.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, old school. Second segment before we get to the bottom of the hour. Obviously, it came across the ticker yesterday, but we had other stuff to attend to. But I know people have talked about it. But the news is Scott Frost got hired as a analyst, so that means you'll do a little bit of everything. special teams, defense, offense. My thoughts on it. Look, man, you can't go back and rewrite history, or their old saying is you can't dig up a dead horse. You know what I'm saying, and ride it again. So didn't work out here, and the most important thing, when he obviously feels like he wants to get back into coaching, and he's got an opportunity. So now again, it's up to him to make the most of it. And I think if there ever was a situation good for him, is that you're not having to be up in front of the press. You don't got to deal with like head coach responsibilities, obviously, and then you can probably maybe kind of find your love for it and maybe go in another direction. I mean, he's coached receivers before. He's coached a little bit of defense. He's played defense in the league, so he has a lot of options that he can take it. And then obviously I think he knows or has some sort of connection with Raheem Morris, and so he has a chance to maybe just go in the pros and coach there.
Yeah, as you said, the dead horse thing and revisionist history and how people are perceived. Go do whatever you're gonna do. I had kind of wrapped my Scott Frost conversations up. Let him do what he's gonna do. You don't wish anybody ill or other, and he doesn't need for anybody to rehash what happened here. Everybody knows. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way for him to do it, was to go to the pros first.
And
I really do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stigma, the whatever you call it around him, is due to the college game. I think going to the pros is perfect, where he can be, like you said, anonymous in the background, just coach football. He's a good football coach. He's a good football mind, right? Smart dude, knows what he's talking about for the most part. He just didn't work at Nebraska for, like DP said, reasons we don't have to relitigate. Is Scott Frost ever a head coach again? Who cares? Let him be an analyst for now. Let him be a position coach for a while if that's what he wants to do. Good for him. He found time, a job that works for him. I really like the fit with him and McVay. I think those are some kind of kindred spirit guys. I think there's a lot Scott Frost can learn from Sean McVay. I think it's a pretty darn good opportunity for him.
Yeah, and I think obviously he's still going to be getting paid from Nebraska, and he's going to be out there. And you're 100% right, Austin. I think learning from McVay, how McVay leads, how
McVay grew after the Goff trade.
Right, after the Goff trade. But McVay has always been a pretty good and energetic leader. He's a unique personality too, where he's a mad scientist in as far as the offense. And so this is a good opportunity for Scott to not only learn more about offense, but then the Rams have a pretty good and young defensive coordinator that has shown the ability to identify talent. So even if you get back in the college rankings, you got to identify talent. He's been able to coach talent that they didn't have a plethora of high draft choices because of the salary cap and kind of going all in a couple years ago on the Super Bowl. So they've kind of been having to make chicken salad out of chicken, and it's worked to a T. And then also, you're going to be doing a little special teams. So I think it's if taken advantage of and done right, it'll lead to other opportunities. And then so the pros is a little bit different. You're a pros pro. You got to coach guys. You still have to connect with players though. But he's not a position coach. He's an analyst. And so that might help him under low pressure, learning how to kind of evaluate things from afar and, a little bit with himself. So wish him the best. I think, like you said, Austin, I think football minds, he's definitely got it. There's more to coaching than that. So I think he'll do all right. Good for him. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, put a bow on this first hour, dive into some Husker stuff, coordinators. We'll probably play a little audio top of the hour, right, Austin? But we have a short segment after this. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event. Lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $399 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1003769, $399 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 56.52 and signing, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 9/3/24. See dealer for details.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
College football is back for another week on 93.7 The Ticket. This week we have a top 10 matchup in store as the number 3 Texas Longhorns travel to the Big House to try to dethrone the defending champion number 10 Michigan Wolverines. Both teams enter the matchup unblemished as Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns opened up the season with a 52-0 pummeling of Colorado State, while Will Johnson and Michigan's defense led them to a season-opening 30-10 win over Fresno State. It's number 10 Michigan hosting number 3 Texas right here on 93.7 The Ticket. The broadcast starts at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday with kickoff set for 11 o'clock. Catch the action on the gridiron all season long on 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Orman. A lot going on, man. Ben, I hear you. I hear you, Ben. Ben on the text line. Is that young? That's not young, Ben.
I don't know.
Eric and Lincoln. Florida and Florida State go after Frost after all. No, it does not happen. Anyways.
Don't forget Florida won its Frost the first time. That was Nebraska's competition.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was down to those two.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they do it again, but I'm just saying the first time Florida was hot on its trail. So
that's interesting. Well, anyways, onward. Coordinators talk today. So we'll get into some audio of that. We'll talk about what the head coaches said yesterday. Talk about it today. And we'll talk about keys to success. I think one of the most, a really good quote was Tony White said, "Listen, let's not make this too hard. They're trying to get it to Horn, Hunter, 14 and 10, and you got 4 really good receivers. They can spread you out, and then they try to bust you up the middle with Alfredall and the other running back. And so we'll evaluate what Nebraska needs to do to slow that down. And I think it's an answer that normally people wouldn't think of because everybody thinks of coverages, pass rush, so forth and so on. I think the answer is pretty easy. It's an easy answer, but it's going to be hard to do. So we'll get back on schedule here and go to break, and we'll have an extended segment at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Early break.
And then a week after retirement, he was flipping burgers in a what would you call that truck? A
Food truck?
Food truck.
What kind of truck would that be with food in it?
Words are hard.
What is that? There's a truck. They show up. They show up at noon, and then they drive in, and it's a food. Oh, I can't put it together. I can't get this food truck.
Food truck.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We are the Old School crew. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. 85th and...
Andermatt.
I'm getting it.
Nebraska Parkway, 84 is right there.
Andermatt and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Had the first, just like every week, obviously the coaches talked yesterday, had the coordinators talk today. I think it'd be really interesting to we're going to play this Marcus Satterfield, what he gave his evaluation or told the media what he thought about Dylan's performance.
The number one thing was just the operation, the rhythm of the offense, and taking care of the football. And he did all 3 of those. I thought he again, talking about a culture of excellence. I mean, he was prepared. He knew exactly where the ball needed to go. He was accurate with the ball, took care of the ball. I was just really excited to see it because I knew, coming up that tunnel walk, that was a lot of years and a lot of memories and a lot of days of anticipation and excitement. And I was hoping that he was going to be able to come out and just play, and just play like he does. And you get nervous sometimes that a young guy gets and tries to do too much and it's just too emotional. and he was like a freaking surgeon. Like, it was amazing to see him, just his maturity, way beyond his years from that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. I mean, I know I'm a little bit more than the average person, but look, I think the best thing about that quote was a culture of excellence. And then also him going out to and had a good grasp of the plan, and the arm talent was able to do there. That's distinctly different than Nebraska has ever seen at this magnitude, quite frankly. Now, it's one game, but it's not very often. Now, Nebraska's offenses historically haven't been pro style, run and gun, run and shoot. So it's a little different. So Nebraska hasn't had to recruit to that. But I think the biggest quote from there, or the biggest part of that quote, or the answer was culture of excellence.
Yeah, I mean, it falls in that Jay Foreman category of what does it mean? Like, what are you trying to tell me?
Right.
Like, what are you trying to tell me? If a culture of excellence, are you telling me that you're improved in specific areas? You're improving in all areas and creating a culture of excellence only has value if you have specifics behind it.
Yeah, I'm sure if they asked him to get it, I think it means, just from the outside looking in, it's what I've been, Brian Kelly about DP.
Yeah.
You know what? DP, I'm mad if we haven't had it again.
Right.
I better stop before I get fired.
Well, his
I'll get
issue
an invoice.
was
break my desk today for me.
Right.
Well, his issue, Brian Kelly's issue was that he had finite things that he was expecting from his people that he didn't get.
Right.
If you tell me you're creating a culture of excellence, one, I want to believe you. And two, I also want to know what that means. Yeah. And if it's playing clean, having an understanding of throws to be made and throws not to be made. Okay, wonderful. Taking care of the ball. Okay, wonderful. Pocket presence, taking the layup, understanding reads, getting the pass pros.
I think it's all that, but I think as a coach, that's what you preach in house. The biggest thing is when he says it, I guess when you've done it or know it, you just know what it looks like. But the biggest thing is, like, I always say that this is the funniest thing about athletes these days. The best players that I've ever played with. So Eric Moulds will get in the Hall of Fame eventually. Rightfully so. Andre Reed's in the Hall of Fame. Bruce Smith is in the Hall of Fame. Ted Washington, nose guard, should be in there, most likely, because he doesn't have the sacks numbers, might not be in there. Reuben Brown will get in. Okay, that's who I played with. Andre Johnson. Played with Bryant Young for 1 year. Michael Strahan. All of them, the hardest workers, had the best intent, showed up and was about that football life, and went the extra mile. That's pretty much, when you look at it, that's really what Dylan, I think, has displayed since he's gotten here. Now that's infectious when your better players or your best players are like that. And that's where I think, in particular, probably Jamal Banks is like that. Ideally, most of the other guys are on defense. You expect them to be like that, but I think it's good when you have it from the most high-profile position under the most pressure.
Marcus Satterfield was asked about that. Has he seen Dylan be the wise beyond his years guy since he got here? Here's the OC.
I have, and you can't help but feel it. Like, when he walks in a room, he's got a little different feeling about him. But again, just scrimmages and practices, I've seen in 20 years of coaching, you turn the lights on at a game, people start to change and do weird things. And he didn't do that. If anything, he became more focused, as scary as that is. So I thought he got off to a really good start. And, there's always things that we can all improve on. He's going to continue to improve on his footwork and how that's the timing of the plays and the passing game. So if he's going to obsess over all that to make sure he's the best version of himself, like he always does, but just super pleased with everything from the brain to the ability of what I saw on Saturday.
I think, everybody knows that, I guess my analogy is that, say you have a kid or a family that they're either movie directors or whatever, and then the third generation, ends up being a really good, his path is a little bit easier. Not that it's given to him, but he knows the ins and outs, right? So a movie director, and I equate it to a quarterback because you're directing a movie, is because the Sunday talks, the dinner table talks, the exposure to what you need to do as a pro. That's what being around his dad and his uncle played too in the pros, and his grandfather exposed all of them to it at an early age. So all the things that sometimes can change when the lights goes on, it's not too big for him, at least right now, or being able to go to embrace the moment is because he's been exposed to it. So it's just a byproduct of being around it.
And I don't think that Dom Raiola has said, this is what I like that Matthew Stafford did. This is what I didn't like. But I'm sure he came home after a tough day or a good day and made an offhand comment. You might not even know Dylan was around, but Dylan picked up on it.
Yeah.
Before he even knew he was going to be a quarterback, right? Just being immersed in it, like you said.
Yeah, and he's probably been in some quarterback meetings. He knows these guys. I mean, for me, being a ball boy was probably the best thing that helped me make that jump from year one, which is 94 to 95. I was able at 4, I think I was 14. It was maybe 14 to 16. And then I didn't do it because I was playing AAU. So 13, 14, 15, 16, excuse me. And old Lane Kiffin was there. I was able to go. I'm close friends with John Randall. I saw him work. I saw Chris Dolman work. He's a Hall of Famer. I saw Joey Browner work. I saw all these dudes work. I saw how they prepared. I saw the extra work. I was, when we were living in the dorms at Mankato State, and I knew that that's when they had night meetings. And so our job was to, get, I guess, I don't know if it was Gatorade. They had some sort of drink, put them out on I used to sneak in the meetings. They wouldn't know and there was a projector or whatever. I'd sneak in there and be watching. They would be talking about China routes and all this other stuff and preparing for games and being in the locker room as the games were getting, you go from preseason, right? Game 1 preseason to game 3. I saw guys get cut. I saw what guys didn't make it and what their habits were, right? Because I heard it. So this is all things that he's been exposed to. So it's just one game. I mean, obviously he's not Patrick Mahomes yet, even though he's, replicate. But then also, if you're going to replicate somebody or try to be like somebody, be like Patrick Mahomes. Can't be mad at him doing it because Kobe did it and did a pretty dang good job at it. So, it'll be interesting to see how it goes this weekend. It's a 12-step process, and he's 1-0 in that step process.
Yeah, I like the idea of just giving him credit for how he played Saturday. And then resetting your eyes.
Yeah.
And it could be, 24 hours of, hey, we're going to applaud for you, celebrate you, all the things you did well. And knowing beyond our expectation that he's putting in work right now, film study, body recovery, all of those things.
Yeah. He knows what to do.
He's familiar.
I can say this, and I never breach personal relationships for anything. His expectations are a lot higher than anybody else's expectations that are, trying to write articles. I can tell you that right now. I lived that life, you know what I mean? Being the son of a famous father, he's doing it, and he's doing it in a different era where it's 24/7 news cycle. You got people that never played football evaluating what he's doing, trying to do this, do that. That's fine. And then you got just the social media pressure of just pretty much the program on your shoulders to get some life back into it right now, obviously with the coaches and everything, but you're the number one recruit and you spurn Ohio State and Georgia for Nebraska, right? It's the easy choice. We talked about DJ. He ended up going that. So his expectations and what he wants to do and it's a crazy catch-22. You got to be realistic, but then also you got to have higher expectations. But he knows what work is. He knows what a good, honest days of work is. His dad has told him. I know I've been in them shoes before. The conversation that he's able to have, or his dad was having with him, and him see his dad work. Those are, like I said, that's like being. I don't know who's a famous film director. It's like being one of his kids. You know what it looks like. You know what a good like, set is when you go to it. You know what I'm saying? So like when you're doing it yourself, the difference. But if I'm trying to do it, I'm learning on the on the fly and making some mistakes that you already have seen that you can kind of work around. So that's where he's able to kind of jump out there and live up to his own expectations.
Well, it's recovery. It's learning from each of those reps, especially live reps, right? That he has a pretty good idea based on practice reps what he's supposed to do with the ball, when he's supposed to do it, etc. Then there's game speed. You go, okay, these are people that aren't my friends, and they're not looking out for me, right? It's one thing me practice against a dude who knows I'm Dylan Raiola versus a dude who knows that I'm Dylan Raiola.
Who wants to get to know you.
Wants to do something about it. So all of that thing, give him credit for Saturday.
Yeah.
With your eyes forward to next Saturday. You can do both and say, look, I'm still not all in 100%, but I understand.
Yeah, and I understand. You got to reset it because I think the best thing for this team in general and just people in general, where we're at as a program, is every week is that week. Because you can't show up there with the expectations that it's going to flow over. Ideally, you'll get there. And how do you get there? Is oddly enough, and people think you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, is you have to reset every week. Just because you beat up on UTEP and beat UTEP doesn't mean that you're going to do it to Colorado. Say you do it to Colorado, doesn't mean you're going to do it to Northern Iowa. You got to go out there and earn it and put in the same work every week, and then sometimes even more, and really be willing to invest and do the things you need to do in week 1 to be successful in week 12. And that's the hardest thing about football, because I keep saying the same thing, is you practice or you train, practice, recovery, all that 95% of the time you get to play 5. That's why it's such a cool sport, but it's a hard sport to love, to not to love, but I feel like in some other sports you can like it, and you can like it a lot. You know what I mean? Because there's been a lot of really good NBA players, DP, you know this, that like the sport.
Yep.
There's been some baseball players that like the sport, and a ton that love it. You can't like football. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Well, that's the thing that people who have crossed over into football, right, from another sport, will tell you, yeah, there's a different thing that's happening over here. There's a different thing altogether. Like putting your head in a pile is a different deal.
Well, just think
a different deal. Like shooting jumpers for 3 hours and dribbling and crossing over
against the cone.
Okay, taking 500 swings off the batting in the batting cage. Okay, that's fine. I need to serve 500 balls in volleyball. Okay, fine. It ain't gonna do to get your brain rattled and having your bones at risk. Like,
well, it's like this. I'm sure over time. And Charlie Ward is a good example, but he didn't play in the NFL, but he played in the NBA. Like there's been NFL players, and I'm not getting into the Rivers talk, but I'm gonna say like this is like there's probably been some NFL players that if they chose, they could have been NBA players, right?
Yeah.
I would say on the flip side, there's not,
and know who they are,
right? and I ain't one of them.
Right.
So, but and this is why it's so different for an NBA player to go play football or baseball, right? Because in the NBA, just say I was somewhat skilled enough to try out for, heck, even Nebraska's basketball team, right? Kenny Cheatham was good enough to play there and practice with Matt Davison even played, and Banks did, when they needed in COVID. But just so say I showed up at Fred and we're in the season or training camp or whatever, or we're in the season. We're playing sometimes 3 times in a week, right? They might play 3 times in a week. In football, you play once. You practice 4 or 5 days and play once. And then when you're playing 3 times a week in basketball, you know more than I do, DP. How many real practices are you? 1?
Yeah. Well,
because if you travel,
right,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. In-season travel. So CBA, ABA, those practices were longer and more intense.
Okay.
Because you didn't have time,
right,
to muck around. So you would have those 2. You would always have an install, always,
right,
always. So first thing at night after a game, you're going to install the next game. That's
sure.
At the high school level, it's that management, that time management.
Yeah, it's harder. Yeah,
man,
I know that for sure.
It's tough to do. It's tough.
But the NBA, Austin, right? So say like you play, say my Timberwolves, they play Tuesday night. Okay, they're on a private jet, so they probably taking off at what, midnight? Okay, you're flying to, let's just say even it's a short flight to Cleveland. Okay, you're in your hotel 3 or 4, sleep. They probably have a shoot around, and that depends if they play that night. So say they play the next night or 2 nights from there, whatever. Say they're at the Boston, you probably have a day off or a partial day, and then you have a shoot around, somewhat of a little practice or vice versa, and then you play. Whereas football, obviously, you play Saturday, or at least we'll say when I play Saturday, you got Sunday off, you got practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you have walkthrough Friday. You teeing it up again.
For the NBA, a lot of the scheduling, you'd be amazed at how many streaks of not days off they work. They can put something together. The labor has tried to keep it under control.
Yeah, they don't practice like they used to.
Yeah, there are too many coaching decisions about practice that will impact that statement you made. Right? It's just like, okay, we're doing too much. Hey, we're out west. We got to go from Charlotte to Portland, from Portland down to Los Angeles to Phoenix, back up. Yeah, it's a beast.
So that's the main difference in the sports, and that's why I say you have to love football. And you know who else loves football, Austin? Tony White. Can we hear what my man T. White says?
Yeah, what do you want to hear about from Tony White?
Anything and everything. Tony White's like the dude that just makes me just hype all the time.
Okay, how about emotions on how important and big the game is?
Yeah, let's see if Tony White can get me hype on a Tuesday.
Here's Tony White getting Jay Foreman hype on a Tuesday.
Yeah, right now it's just Tuesday, and we're just worried about us right now, and that's the most important thing. You worry about who you're playing right now, then it all goes for naught. I mean, the process is we got to handle our business. We got to make sure we're tackling. First of all, it all comes back to do we know what we're doing? Number one, do we know how we want to do it? And then just getting those reps, putting those guys in position every day. Making sure their minds are right, making sure their attitudes are right. So that way, when the game comes, they've already played the game so many times during the week. Now they can just go out there and play. So it's not so much, again, great talent, some of the best football players, in the country coming in here. But, it's more so what are we going to do and how are we going to do it is probably the biggest thing that concerns us.
You're hyped, Jay. I see it in your eye.
I'm laughing because Tony White would probably have that conversation with me. Hey, man, we ain't playing them today. That's funny, though. He's like, it's just
Saturday.
Yeah, he's like, it's just a Tuesday. I can see him saying that to me. Hold on, man. I mean, what he said is 100% true. And I think that quote or that state or Tony White answering that question, it lets you know how he was able to get so many people ready last year and obviously this year with the new defense and the kind of, not a lot of teams. You're starting to see a lot more 3-man fronts, 3-3-5s now, at all levels, but especially college.
But what do you expect to see in the next 3 weeks from this defense? You expecting them to stay in the 3 front? Do you think there are opportunities for them to square up and get some folks off balance?
Well, I mean, I think with the 3-3-5 and their personnel, I mean, they run 4-man fronts. They can play a 4-man front. I think the whole 3-3-5 thing is just kind of get blown out of proportion,
Well, I mean, that's why we ask.
Because I think I tell you this, just from my perspective, they have different body types, which allows them to be multiple if they choose to.
Wouldn't it be exceptional to be able to go from the 3-3-5 to a 3-5-3 or a 5-3-3 and be able to be fluid in it and not have to make personnel changes?
Yeah, they can, but here's an example. I guess to answer your question. So I played in technically a 3-4 in Buffalo. That's a straight basic 3-4. So for people out there listening, 3-4 is zero technique, is Big Daddy Ted Washington lined up right over the center, and I used to love it. And we had 2 5s. And sometimes we did what's called a reduced front. But 2 5s are both the defensive ends, who happen to be Phil Hansen and Bruce Smith, lined up, head up to a little bit outside shade of the offensive tackles. Then we had 2 9 techniques, which is essentially outside the widest guy on the line of scrimmage, tight end, or on the outside of the defensive end, depending on what we're doing. Then we played 2, we used to call it like a even front, or Okie, right? Just basic, just eat what you kill. Both the linebackers line and head up on the guards. Now you can run what's called an eagle front, which is essentially either depends on where you come from as far as your coaching background, an over or not over or an odd front. So that means you could reduce, let's say, Phil Hansen, who was a little bit better against the run than Bruce, but Bruce could get down there too if he wanted, because if there was a mismatch, Bruce is going to play a 3. If there was a bad matchup for them on Bruce, he would play a 3 or Phil. Or we ran what was called special package. So we bring in, so if a team thought that he could run on us, so we're still playing a 3-4, right? So we would have Ted Washington, Big Daddy Pat Williams, right? Who was the truth. But then we play Phil Hansen we'd probably play him at a, we might play him at a 5.
Stronger than you would think because of his length, right?
Well, yeah, but here's what we would do. We would play Pat Williams at the 3 or whatever, or maybe even 4, but a 3. Ted Washington at a 0, Phil Hansen at a 5, Sam Rogers at a 9 outside the tight end. And then we would play Bruce Smith with his hand in the ground, which essentially would be a 3-3-5 or a 3-4 personnel as an outside linebacker. So you had to block him one-on-one, or you would have some running back trying to block him.
That was what Dallas did with their doomsday with Randy White.
Right. So
it was foul.
So how you have like, so to answer your question, you can just have your 3-4 personnel out there and you can run different fronts.
If you have that type of talent.
Well, I mean, you're talking. You don't have Hall of Fame players just come, but you can do it. They have guys that can play it.
Oh no, they've got. I think this is why the Javen Wright situation plays, right. It shows up because he's a person that does some different things that you in different situations. I like the crew that they ran out Saturday, and they had what appeared to be some depth because they were running the same assignments with the number 2 group, and they were still pulling it off.
Right, and that's why when Tony White's talking, he's like, we got to focus on us. That's how you're able to get a ton of guys ready to play, because the main thing is the main thing. It is a saying, but if you live it and you coach it, then it doesn't change. So when you have Stephon Thompson go in there and you got Shavers go in there, they're playing the same fronts as the starters. Now, granted, you didn't show everything last week, but as you go on, there's you got like the playbook is this big. Now they just got an iPad. It's this big. So you got like fronts, calls, and everything for every type of potential offensive formation, offensive like style that can work for you. You've seen them play against a run-heavy Illinois and Wisconsin team last year. It wasn't just line up in a 3. You never just line up and just wave your hand and get blocked. So you could do different things, and you got to have guys that have to be able to play more than one position. You got Mekhi Bayer that played primarily at times last year, I felt, on the outside. That's where he kind of got on the field last year, especially Colorado game. And then now you see him starting in the inside because Javen's out. So you got to be multiple, but you also have to be able to play more than one position. You have to. If you think you're just going to say, I'm only like a middle linebacker and I only want to play in a 4-3, you ain't going to play.
All of that's why I agree with your assessment of Tony White. When he first got here, I said, that's the dude that's going to give me hope. He's going to give me hope because he talks, his players talk in his language. Like when you hear the defenders talk, it's well, Coach White says this is what we should do, and it's call and response.
Well, I think he's like I said, he loves coaching. You could tell it just by watching him. That's why he's hired. That's why he was successful, obviously at Syracuse. And I remember him coming here, and I remember watching Syracuse tape just to say, okay, because here's what the idea or the assumption is of a 3-3-5. When a 3-3-5 became popular is when Oklahoma would go to Morgantown and play West Virginia, and they would score about 70 points. But West Virginia would play. That's where the 3-3-5 came, like when they have Carl Joseph and those guys, and so. That's kind of where it came on the map, but they had no intention of stopping the run. Well, then, you watch Tony White at Syracuse, the biggest thing that jumped out at me, they had I guess, nose guard who obviously wasn't nearly the size of Nash. He was listed at 5'11", 280, 275. But he punched a hole in the offensive line against Pittsburgh, who was a good running team at that time, and other teams. So it let me know that he was, one, make the most out of the personnel that he had. Because Syracuse, you're not winning any recruiting battles at Syracuse. So it lets me know you were able to be successful with less.
They got Mello.
Yeah. They don't got anybody else.
Basketball recruiting is entirely
different. Yeah. You ain't got
entirely different.
He didn't have Dwight Freeney. Yeah. And all that, so he was able to make more out of what
Donovan McNabb, like you get the the Corey Graves, that crew,
Greg Paulus.
Yeah, you get those folks. You go, wait a minute, this looks a little different.
Yeah, so he was able to make a lot with less, and so then he knew he'd be here. So that let me know right. It let me know right then he was a good teacher.
Yeah,
you had to.
I'm all in with Coach.
It's good to hear him talk, and then he's going to do his job, and the players just got to go out there and execute. And so. That's the great thing about it. But ultimately, the coordinators are it's a little bit easier, and you got a quarterback and you got guys that are playing your system. You can go out there and do the fun stuff. That's probably where you get to drive around and think of a defense that you possibly could, pull out of your back pocket if executed right to, sway a game. So anyways, good stuff to hear from them. We're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Clear skies are expected as we head into tonight. We'll drop down to a low of around 58. We're going to heat things up just a bit more as we get into our Wednesday, an afternoon high of around 90. Plenty of sunshine. South winds a little strong, gusting near 25 miles per hour. A few clouds move in tomorrow night as we see a low down to 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In today's digital landscape, the security of your business is non-negotiable. That's why you need better cybersecurity solutions. At Hamilton, we make it our business to protect your network, data, and digital assets with the latest in cybersecurity technology. Our dedicated team of experts has the technology in place to protect what matters most to you and your business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with better cybersecurity protection. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin. Good segment there with the Huskers as we get closer and closer. This will be on and popping. We got Greg Smith coming on. He's going to be talking about the recruiting weekend. A lot to talk about. You got 3 5-stars, 10 4-stars, and multiple 3-stars coming in. So be all good. And I think also to pivot to the NFL. Anybody knows Trent Williams? My man got paid. Finally.
That's some money. That
good
is
for him.
Money. I'm having been around Trent when he got money. early in DC. What I can tell you is there's a dinner being planned this evening that we haven't seen the likes of, Jay Foreman.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Yeah, he's taking everybody out.
How good would you feel about the Commanders if they had Trent Williams protecting Jane Daniels blindside right now?
That won't gonna work out because of the doctors.
Listen, this is why I'm still in the portal. That you had the guy.
You nailed the pick.
Anytime you have the guy at his position, at whatever the position is, you must keep the guy as long as he's still the guy at that position. And it's been 8 years, 9 years since there was a better left tackle than Trent Williams. Fair?
I don't even know if there. I can't
Right?
tell you
Like,
who
I
it's
mean,
been.
like it's been a minute. I'm looking, maybe, the Evil Empire had somebody.
Jason Peters went through there.
Right. Like there's a
when he
stretch,
was at
right?
his- yeah, but that's.
But the guy, that's like, again, this is the thing. It's like if you got Mahomes
And traded him Seattle.
and traded him to Seattle, you keep him. You keep him. Who's receiver one? Who is receiver one
Right now?
Yeah,
Jefferson.
So you got to keep
Jefferson or Adams.
right.
Depends on
So,
what you like, yeah.
well, but if you're Minnesota, Jefferson better not ever wear another jersey.
Yeah, and that's the
Otherwise, he becomes Adams.
Yeah.
He becomes Adams. He bounces around. So Trent got his money.
Well, he got it again and again and again and again.
Good on San Francisco. Good on San Francisco for saying finally, you know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think his deal is structured enough that where he just wanted to be paid like the best. I don't think it's not a true new deal, so it wasn't like he's trying to. I mean, he was severely underpaid and he outperformed his last uptick in contract. But but he got some new money. Good for him, and he deserved it. He performed. He's performed, and that's where you have teammates and even Kyle Shanahan and all those guys know that he's more than earned it. So
25 plus million in the signing bonus.
That's it.
3 years. That's a lot of cake, bro. That's a
I
lot
just
of
figured that he
cake.
would have got a little bit more than that, guaranteed. But he probably got guarantees in like year one
Well,
and two.
it said 48 million at signing.
Well, that means he got 48 million signing bonus.
Right. And but an additional 25 million.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 73 of the 86. So he's there for at least 2 years.
3 years is what they really pushed was we're gonna give you 2 years worth of money, top level money. We'll have this conversation again if you're still playing at the same level.
If you still want to, because he's thinking about retiring. But I'm gonna tell you this though,
That's
Austin. I'm a decent sized dude, whatever.
Correct.
And we were down at the Super Bowl, and I seen Trent. I was like, damn, that's a big brother right there, man. I mean, like, there's some guys that are like supposed to be big and not as big as advertised. He is, and he's not like a roly poly, fat. He's a big.
Yeah.
He
can dance.
Yeah, and he can hoop too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big dude, man. And he plays with an edge.
It's why I can't.
Who was it? Was it last year, a couple of years ago, that someone was trying to square up with someone? Trent Williams walked over, and the whole other team said, "Nope, I'm good."
That was last year with the Browns.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He was the dude like where he said the lights came on, cockroaches started leaving.
Yeah.
And then the Van Der Esch, he pretty much ended his career. Deboed him, pretty much DDT'd him out there and broke his neck.
I still say Richard Sherman was never the same.
Oh, he played good after that, but Richard Sherman,
he enhanced the name, and then he took some of the fame because Richard Sherman from that point he had to play different and talk different, and it was like, wait a minute, are you Compton or Cal?
Yeah. Where is Trent from? He went to Oklahoma. Where he from? Is he from Oklahoma?
I would have.
I wouldn't. You know what? That's the only dude I'd say that you from Oklahoma. I like you very much.
Trent Williams is from Longview, Texas.
Oh, okay, well then that's fine.
That speaks for.
But that's the thing. See, you run up from somebody on Longview, Texas, or anybody from Texas. They don't care that you're from Compton. So he went up to Trent Williams and said, "What you gonna do?" Trent Williams said, "I'm gonna go ahead and punch you in your mouth." He's like, "Well, do it then." Okay.
You don't have horns, bro. Like,
but the best part, because
like,
hey, listen,
if your name not Bevo, I'm not really impressed, bro.
Hey, Seattle was going to the playoffs. The Washington, they had the U-Hauls. He's like, "What I got to lose? What you gonna do? Find me?
Bippity
Take this with you.
Bippity bat."
And then the funny thing is, why would you? Richard Sherman's what 6'3" corner. Like I said, I'm a decent size. I saw him. I was like, dang. Between him and Larry Allen, those dudes don't even need to wear pads.
It's just different. It's just different. That you shake hands with Trent, you realize we're not the same. We're not the same. I
just want to ask him, who birthed you?
Like, it's a paw. Like, we've heard people talk about paw. When Trent, his hand consumes yours, it's not just the length, it's the thickness of the hand. Where you realize, when you hear heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's extremely quick, though. That's the thing. If you ever get a chance to Google his, when he warms up before a game, he's got quick feet for being 300 and what was he listed as, Austin? 350? 335. They lying like a mug, though, but how big is he?
Yeah, I mean, 6'5" is legit. Like you said.
But what's his weight?
His weight is not loading. Out of respect, they don't want.
He's about.
Yeah, they don't want you mad at anybody.
Trent Williams listed at 320.
Yeah, he ain't been 320 since.
So he's probably about 340, but he is quick, man. Yeah. He is quick. He's explosive and he's fast though. So he's a matchup problem for everybody. So big shout out to him. He got paid, and Hassan Reddick is still waiting. I don't know what he's thinking about. Well, I know what he's thinking about.
How much money am I gonna get?
Well, sometimes you waited this long, you might as well wait. Or he wants to get traded again because I know his agent has probably talked to some other people, so then you potentially could get a deal for somewhere.
Here's the question. I'll get out of here so you can talk to Greg. But here's the thing.
Greg's tomorrow.
Oh, I thought we had somebody else behind us to get on.
Nope.
Okay, never mind. Here's the question. Is Dak the Dallas quarterback next year?
Depends on how they do.
Well, I mean, do you think the cards have to fall in order and that Dak will be the Cowboys quarterback next year?
I don't. If I'm Dak, I don't want to.
If you're Dak, where do you want to go?
I just love the fact that we've conceded that Dak will not be with Cowboys next year. If
I'm Dak, where do I want to go? It's a good question. The Giants, they're gonna have a new coach.
Plenty of money.
If I'm Dak, I wouldn't mind going to
Arizona,
New Orleans, somewhere like that. I think he'll have plenty of
he'd do well in New Orleans. Yeah, he would do well.
Yeah, he'd do well there, and they got some weapons, so he'd do well. You got Olave and all that, and they got
Sorry about that wet blanket. Had to do that.
Jerry don't want him because he ain't paying him.
My bad.
He said, "We're gonna pay the receiver that you threw to. We ain't gonna pay you." So, and they can't franchise him next year, so you got to pay him.
Oh, darn! Chaos in Dallas.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
Soon as they lose 2 games in a row, boy.
Pitchforks.
Man.
Hey, can I make signs? I would go to a Dallas game and make sense. I'm Team Trey Lance.
That dude threw 5 interceptions in a game, in the preseason game. 5, Austin. 5.
Not 1, not 2, not
5 interceptions in the preseason game. That is a new trivia question.
Did you catch what happened? There was somebody in the building that took a picture of Oprah. You get an interception.
Yeah. Yeah, he's.
They put Oprah in a Dallas 4 jersey.
Yeah, you know that meeting went. He threw for 350 yards. It was a great game except for the 5 interceptions.
350 yards. How many of them were going the right direction?
Yeah, let's minus those. Yeah, you're back to like 200. Anyways, Jay Foreman, DP. Also, we're gonna take our quick last break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 in instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Clear skies are expected as we head into tonight. We'll drop down to a low of around 58. We're going to heat things up just a bit more as we get into our Wednesday, an afternoon high of around 90. Plenty of sunshine. South winds a little strong, gusting near 25 miles per hour. A few clouds move in tomorrow night as we see a low down to 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G35609. 93 must trade.
College football is back for another week on 93.7 The Ticket. This week we have a top 10 matchup in store as the number 3 Texas Longhorns travel to the Big House to try to dethrone the defending champion number 10 Michigan Wolverines. Both teams enter the matchup unblemished as Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns opened up the season with a 52-0 pummeling of Colorado State, while Will Johnson and Michigan's defense led them to a season-opening 30-10 win over Fresno State. It's number 10 Michigan hosting number 3 Texas right here on 93.7 The Ticket. The broadcast starts at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday with kickoff set for 11 o'clock. Catch the action on the gridiron all season long on 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Still using that old, outdated office phone system? You need better. At Hamilton, we offer solutions for the modern office. Whether you have an office full of staff or your employees work remotely and are on the go, seamless call handling is important. Elevate your communication and connect seamlessly with clients and staff with Hamilton Business Phone Systems. Choose better and hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Quick segment. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. Little update. Trent Williams is now officially the third highest paid at his position. Joey Bosa continues to be number one. Brock Purdy is 79th. Man.
Clock's ticking.
79th. Yeah, this agent need to get on it, man, or else you got to take less percentage.
Yeah, that's that whole Super Bowl thing should matter.
Well, NFC champion, I get it. You know, it's still young in his career, but you could you could do something. You did it for Trent. Obviously, Trent's obviously a Hall of Famer, but you should be able to do something.
You know, Ayuk gets his. Trent gets his. Purdue is sitting back.
And then you got Javon Hargrove, who's been in and out of the lineup. He's, top 10 paid. But your quarterback, man, there's only McCaffrey just got it re-upped, right?
They reworked Debo.
Yep, Kittle's going to get his pretty soon. So if I'm Brock Purdy,
didn't they just pay Juwan Jennings this offseason too?
Yeah, but but still, you could have. This would be my last year that I'm playing. So if you think I'm a system quarterback, let's see how it works. How does the system work without me playing it? Because you did strike out on Trey Lance, and you don't have anybody else coming up, and you had Sam Darnold, there before, and he's not there anymore either.
Does the Lance thing look worse because of Brock Purdy, or was it still a decent bet by the 49ers that just didn't work out?
It looks bad. Number one, you gave up
like 3 firsts for him.
You gave away the house for him, and you got to think that was coming off of COVID. He only played one game. Remember that
in the spring?
In the spring it was kind of look-see game. So he hadn't played football in almost a year, or it was a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he only was a 1-year starter. Great athlete, a ton of potential. But you give away the franchise for that? Oof. But it worked out because you got Purdy. But Purdy's not going to be happy, and it's not going to be pretty. Pay him now so you don't have to overextend him later, because if you do a minor adjustment, it saves you from a major issue down the road. And you shouldn't want this man going out there like that.
The perils of being an actual Super Bowl contender. All of these conversations, or all those people that listen, you asked to be a Super Bowl. I'm amazed that the Chiefs have managed to avoid as much of the conversations as they have.
Have they avoided, or have they just resolved them all? Because we had this with Chris Jones, we've had this with Travis Kelce. I think they avoid it because they let their cornerbacks walk.
Yeah. They develop their cornerbacks, and they don't pay that position. And they draft, and they were willing to part ways with Hill. And then they went by committee, end up working out. The young guy, Rice, he's a draft pick. Worthy's a draft pick. Travis Kelce, they've always taken care of him. The only one that was a problem was Chris Jones. And then also the way Mahomes' contracts is structured is kind of a la Tom Brady in the real time.
Offensive line contracts in Kansas City, it's a masterpiece to be able to just keep a group.
Well, they traded away Orlando Brown.
Well, but that's the thing, right? That to still say that we feel comfortable, no matter who's coaching, no matter who's playing, with the most valuable asset in all of the NFL, you still manage to make it work.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they just paid Creed Humphrey this offseason, but their biggest move wasn't even for tackle. It was get Tooney from New England. And they trust their development. They trust Mahomes' abilities to say, we'll just get a tackle or two that's good enough. And we don't have to pay top dollar.
And I think what makes their offense go is the three guys in the middle. and it's Smith, I think.
Trey Smith.
It's Trey Smith. He's a dude too. He's not up yet. For Andy, always in Andy Reid's offenses, you got to have a very good center and guards, etc. And they've done really well like that. It's opposite of what he had in Philly, where he had Trey Thomas and Runyon, where that's where they beat you up at. But McNabb was obviously more of a runner.
Yeah, he went from Mitch Morse to Creed Humphrey?
Yep. Big upgrade.
Mitch wasn't terrible.
He ain't no Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey is an earth mover. And he was a draft pick.
He was a draft pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Reid is a former offensive lineman, too. If you couldn't tell. But anyway, my man loves a cheeseburger.
Yeah, but he didn't win the punt pass.
I was just about to say. Yeah. And he looked enormous.
He's a well-rounded athlete.
Yeah. And he was like 14, and everybody else was about 8. Anyways, good show today on a terrific Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We got Greg Smith talking about the big weekend for the Huskers. Jay Foreman, DP Austin. We'll holler at you.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.